Hello everybody, I am CrystalClear101. Welcome back to my channel. We have a Transformers toy review, and this will be my first review in the Titans Return series. But I am looking at the Deluxe class Fracas and Scourge. Now this was released in mid-2016. This is a general release, and the suggested retail is $14.99. Now this is the figure, but let's go ahead and take a look at what the figure looks like in the packaging real quick. And as far as the packaging is concerned, let's take a very quick look at that. As you see, this is very similar to the Combiner Wars packaging, albeit with a few small changes. First off, obviously, is there's no comic book package with this. Also, the artwork for the card itself is done along the entire backing of it, which I think is pretty cool. It's kind of like the Combiner Wars Legends class figures. That's really cool. But we have the Generations and Transformers logos down through here. Also, the Titans Return logo right down here, stating this is a Deluxe class. And the name of the characters, in this case, Fracas and Scourge. And along the reverse side, a few interesting things. Along with the name of the main character and the Titan Master. We also have this Titan Returns logo. It says works with, and it shows some of the different classes. In this case, we have the Titan Master, we have Deluxe class, Voyager class, and Leader class. But we have Scourge with Fracas, robot modes, vehicle mode, and head mode. Also shows that he can also pilot Scourge, which I think is pretty sweet. While Fracas is 1 stat to convert, Scourge is 14. As far as Scourge's background, it reads, the Decepticons unite with Titan Master partners to power up for battle. Fracas can steal the powers of other bots, letting Scourge harness whatever abilities suits his sinister plans. And along through here, just some really cool artwork of Fracas merging with Scourge. Titans Return logo, Decepticon emblem right down here. Overall, this packaging looks really sweet. And now let's actually get back to the figure itself. And with that being shown, let's go ahead and take a look at the figure itself. Let's go ahead and straighten them up. Alright, now let's give a 360-degree view on the figure itself. I really don't think it needs to be said, but the Titans Return series is the successor to the Combiner Wars line. And I've noticed a number of the Deluxes actually do bear a very good likeness to that character's Generation 1 counterpart. This is actually one prime example right here with Scourge. Now, as far as what I like about the figure and what I don't like about the figure, let me go ahead and get that out of the way. What I do like is, with this series, they are bringing back the gimmick of not only a headmaster, but the headmaster can also serve as, I don't know, kind of a makeshift target master. I know that's what some of the individual Titan Masters do, is they can function kind of like a target master. Number 2, I love the design of this guy. I really do. I can't say enough about the design of this. I mean, right down to that head sculpt, that face sculpt. That is Generation 1 Scourge. I mean, who else would you call that? But the sculpting on this figure is impressive. The transformation is intricate. I actually do like the transformation for him. It's not the usual, simplistic transformation. No, this has a little bit more going for it with the transformation. Just the sheer number of things you can do with the guy. Kind of like how the original Generation 1 was a shell former. He kinda is still kind of a shell former, but not to the same extent. It's not just, fold these, close up, bam, transformed. No, there's actually a little bit more to him than meets the eye. Yes, I had to say that. Articulation, he's good. He's got decent articulation. He can be posed. If I had to give any real negatives, it's just that, well, with this one being the Hasbro version, the colors on him are kind of dull, especially when compared to the Takara version, which I hope to have soon. Now, I'm trying to think of what other complaints I have for him. I guess that's really my only true complaint I have about him, is simply just his coloration. Now, as for Fracas, let's go ahead and take a look at him. Now, from what I remember with Generation 1, I thought Fracas was a target master, not a headmaster. But, anyway, as shown on the back of the packaging, his transformation is simply one step, which is, bam, he folds his feet in to his chest. But he's got hinges at his hips, at his knees. He's got a little ball joint for the arms. I mean, articulation on him is like really simplistic. Also, before I forget, he does have a little bit of articulation in the head, which allows him to move. If I had to guess, I guess it's a little bit of a ball joint. It allows him to move back and forth, side to side. But while that is impressive for a little mini figure this size, bear in mind that as close as his head is to his body, that will limit how much he can pivot his head up and down when he's plugged into Cyclonus' body. But just simply like so. That's on the head. Or something else I will go ahead and show. If you notice how his gun kind of actually has a little, almost like a miniature cockpit area. Well, the reason for that is something I'll go ahead and also show real quick. Which is, if you notice, he has little plugs on the bottom of his feet. I don't see it on his gun. He's also got these little pads right down here. But you can have him sit and actually hand the cannon itself, which I think is actually pretty neat. But the little pads in the front of the feet, when I actually get to some of the individual Titan Masters, I'll show the purpose of that. But the fact you can have Fracas actually man the gun itself, I think is pretty neat. And the fact he's also a headmaster, he's basically a dual headmaster, target master, which I think is just pretty neat. And now let's go ahead and cover the transformation for Cyclonus. First off, start by removing Fracas, a handheld weapon. Straighten up his arms, hold in his fist. Simply pull them back. You'll notice that there is a pad right here, the pad hole here. Simply line them up, pad them into place. Next, pull out the hips, rotate 180 degrees. We will go ahead and fold in his feet. Fold him in until you hear a click. These pieces will fold out like so. Rotate until you can see the Decepticon emblems and also the more colorful side of legs. Next, we will fold the legs back like so. We will go ahead and tab these into place. Next up, this peg will go into this peg hole right here. And that just about covers his transformation, except for one more thing. With his little handheld gun, we will now go ahead and remove this piece, which now goes on the very top of the back right back here. And voila! We have his Cybertronian spaceship mode. And now with him in his vehicle mode, let's take a closer look at it. What I love about this is just how reminiscent this is to his Generation 1 alt mode. This is like a modernized version of it. I mean, this just about has it nailed. I mean, this just looks sweet. I mean, this really looks good. Looks like I forgot something. I did. There, that's better. But this is like a modernized version of his Generation 1 alt mode, and I freaking love it. Now, something else that is also rather neat about this is he has a cockpit. And, no, not that. You can take a Titan Master or Fracas and put him in the pilot seat. And you can have someone actually piloting Cyclonus. That is just so cool. Also, let me go ahead and remove Fracas. There's also a peg hole right here, right in front of the cockpit, where you can plug in his gun. And if you have a Titan Master in the cockpit, you can have another one sitting in and manning the guns. Although, at this point, I hope Cyclonus is the one flying, because the pilot won't be able to see jack, as the turret kind of obscures his vision to everything directly in front of him. The fact you can have two Titan Masters is a neat concept, but I think this right here kind of defeats the purpose. But nonetheless, it's neat. It's an interesting little gimmick. But aside from that, I will say the colors in this mode look better than in robot mode. They honestly do look better. And overall, considering the last real Cyclonus we had was from I think it was 2011 Generations line, where he turned into like a modified version of kind of like a B2 almost, where he basically turned into a stealth bomber of some kind. I actually really like this, both the robot mode and the alternate mode. And on top of that, this is nowhere near as frustrating as that particular Scourge. So, robot mode, I'm meh on the colors. I freaking love the colors on this one. This is just eye candy. And so, what are my thoughts on the Titans Return Deluxe class Scourge with Fracas? Honestly, other than my complaining about his color pattern, I'm actually very thoroughly impressed with him. The robot mode is impressive. The alt mode is fantastic. The fact that Fracas serves as both not only a headmaster but a target master, I think is a very neat little concept. The fact that the transformation is actually a little bit more intricate, a little bit more involving than what we're used to with Scourge. And the fact he still retains his Generation 1 appearance, this is just a flat-out dead solid figure. If you're a fan of Generation 1 characters, especially movie characters, do look for Scourge with Fracas. He is actually very fun. He is actually a pleasure to have. But that pretty much wraps up my review on the Transformers Titans Return Deluxe Class Scourge with Fracas. Be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.